stuff.
I guess another thing we could talk about is a bit like talk about the setting.
Give me 1 sec. I want to do a thing.
Sure. But talking about the setting, like in MMOs, a lot of times the world is built for developer stories, and so like the world tends to be built for kind of more heroic storytelling. In Final Fantasy, you have the main story quest, which is kind of a major focus. But even like in the games like World of Warcraft, where there's not necessarily a strong central story, there's still events that kind of happen in the world and shape it. Whereas in tabletop, a lot of times the world's more built for collaborative storytelling. Some of the most beloved settings, like Forgotten Realms and whatnot, or Dragonlance, kind of came from somebody's home campaign, where they kind of fleshed out a lot of the world and kind of made it interesting. And the idea is like this is all backdrop for you telling your own stories. Whereas a lot of times, and it feels like in MMOs, the stories kind of like are the dominant force. The lore is is very important and dominates everything. Whereas in tabletop, a lot of times the setting is more of a jumping off point, I guess.
Dejara has spoken.
Uh-oh. Well, it's kind of interesting. Like back in the day, we talked a little bit about in MMOs this concept of what we called a functional role play, where you have kind of the idea is people who basically even if somebody's not like speaking in in character necessarily or whatnot, can still even if somebody's not speaking speaking perfectly in character, they might still kind of like functionally be fulfilling a role in the kind of in the setting in the universe.
I'm almost ready.
Fine.
Right, that's how my Star Wars Galaxy's roleplay used to work. Like we didn't have very strong set like in character, out of character rules. So basically, everyone just kind of assumed what you were doing was in character at all times. And that's where I first learned how to roleplay. So like my tastes have changed since then. But that's how it was originally. Okay. I wanted to mess around with the Vara.
It's fine.
Because there's this great new augment mod for her. Thanks for lurking. Practically as a result of this is a demonstration of how the process of making a capsuleer makes most of them crazy. But you could also counter argue as a role player that making the assumption that all actions taken are in character, that could actually be considered a god mod by the authority of the game. What if you want to retcon it? Like,
all the developers are the gods of the game, so
I guess you're right.
They're allowed to mod.
Nice.
You're
near a fissure. Okay, so my dash bars should, in theory, give a crit buff.
If you're on it.
If you're on it, I think. Does it? Or did I mess up my build? You should get a buff.
I did not see a buff.
I messed up then.
The enemies are dropping reactant. Look for more reactant.
Anyways, so